So yes, let's start off by understanding that nothing happens without energy. For something to happen in this universe, on any and every single level, energy is required. You see that? Energy is what does the work, is what is responsible for the effects, the transformations, the activities, and so on. And the energy that powers the body, the mind, the psyche, and the spirit is called Kundalini in the Shramanic Hindu tradition. It's called Ra in the Kamitic tradition. It's called Chi in the Taoist tradition. Mangala Kung in one of the African traditions, or Shumare, the rainbow, meaning the light that breaks up into the seven basic colors in the Yoruba tradition, and so on. So, nations go to war, to appropriate and control, energy sources, petroleum, and the special minerals in Africa, in Uganda, and Angola, and so on. You see, there's no activity without energy. When energy leaves your physical body, you're dead. You see that? And for lack of the right amount of energy in the brain and in the psyche and in the spirit and so forth, you are intellectually dysfunctional. You are dysfunctional in every and any way. So it's important to understand that, energy is not appropriated, directly. Energy is appropriated through and manipulated through different devices. Let's give a very good examples. You have the energy called electricity coming into your house, but you do not interact directly with this energy, electricity. That energy has to be modulated through your radio, your TV, your computer, your iron, your Keurig machine, your processor, and so forth. So, we have all of these different devices that step up and step down and take out different, parts of that energy and so on. And that's what the so-called chakras are. They are the devices, the radio, the TV stations, the transformers, the ironing, equipment, and so on of your psyche, spirit, body, and mind. You see that? The problem, as I said last week, and I'm going to briefly repeat, is that, the knowledge of the energy and the different devices or faculties that, represent different applications of this energy was developed by the Shramans. That is pre-Aryan invasion India, when India was all black. Okay? The word Industan, there are two words here. Indus, which, stan means land, and Indus is part of the word indigo, blue. When the Aryans came to India, they found black people, living for countless centuries or millennia in India. And they call them the land, meaning stands, Indus, meaning land of the blue black people. Indus in Hindustan means blue black people. You see that? So these were the creators of the so-called, today you say yoga, and hatha yoga. All of these things were created by the Shramans. You see that? What we have today is Hinduism, which is a hybrid, science or religion and spiritual system. You see that is mixing the original African teachings in India with the Aryan teachings from Northern Europe. You see that? Okay? And I'm not making a judgment statement here. I'm just simply calling to your attention that if you really want to benefit from Hinduism, you have to separate and identify and purify what is Aryan and what is, the original African teachings. You see that? So the thing is that before, the different applications of the energy of your mind, body, spirit was called chakras. They were called gods and goddesses. You see that? The gods represented the ideas, and the energy was represented by the goddesses. And there were 10 set of ideas and goddesses that were called the Dasha Vidyas, or the Vidyas mean to teach. You see that? And Dasha means 10, meaning that we were, our spiritual, intellectual, psychical, physical life was controlled by these 10 different principles. And that's where the 10 units of the Kabbalah, the tree of life, comes from. You see, that is where, the 10, or shall we say the 5 pairs equals 10 of the faculties of the psyche in Chinese Taoist teachings. When we talk of yin earth and yang earth and yin wood and yang wood and so on, okay, it's the same, coming from that same concept that there are these 10 modulations of the life force, chi or kundalini, ra force, call it what you want. You see that? So you have to go back to understanding the basic. So I don't know what happened in the translation or the eradication. Was it a means of concealing the truth or not understanding the truth? But instead of, us ending with 14, modulations of energy, we ended up with 7. And the thing is, if you did what I told you to do last week, meaning those of you who bought my Light on Kundalini Yoga, go back and study it very carefully. Go on the internet and Google. That's the newest university. It's for free. And Google, Guru Chakra, the Indus Chakra, Nirvana Chakra, Lalita Chakra, Talu Chakra, and, the Herit Chakra. You're going to find that there are more than just these simple so-called 7 chakras. Okay, that's like having electricity coming into your house and you're only using, 50% of the devices that electricity can power. You see that? So you are applying to your life. If you were following a so-called science of the 7 chakras, you're only learning to use 50% of the modulations of your life force. The problem is that you cannot have a proper teaching of yoga and Kundalini yoga and chakras without the knowledge of the 14 chakras. You have to know them all. You see that? Because, our being is regulated from the top on down. And the 5 of the so-called 7 chakras represent the 5, faculties of the psyche, the soul. Okay? And that's the 5 lowest chakra that corresponds to our psychical behavior, which is our what we call the lower self. So the part that corresponds to the highest part of your being were left out in this doctrine of the so-called 7 chakras. Except for the Ajna chakra, which has been translated, by, Western esoteric teachers into the so-called third eye. Okay, it's not a third eye. That mantra Ong, A-U-N-G, which is the Kamitic Onk, A-N-K-H. You see, Ong and Onk are variants of the same mantric sound, okay? And it corresponds to the energy that empowers the faculty through which your divine identity dwells in. That's your faculty for having unity with everything and so on.